big tech crackdown, Facebook executives telling Attorney General William Barr that the company will not give law enforcement access to its messaging systems ahead of next week's Senate hearing on encryption. The heads of WhatsApp and Messenger service saying in a letter to Barr, the backdoor access you are demanding for law enforcement would be a gift to criminals, hackers, and repressive regimes, creating a way for them to enter our systems and leave every person on our platforms more vulnerable to real-life harm. Joining us right now is Fox News senior judicial analyst Judge Andrew Napolitano. Judge, this is an issue that has come up before.
Yes.
Of course,
yes,
when the cops wanted access to the phone of the killer in California a couple of years ago.
Yes, and they actually got an order from a federal judge. We're talking about this California case. Yeah. Requiring Apple to give the passcode. But before the federal judge ruled, they went to an Israeli tech company, which was able to get into the phone. Look,
so there are back doors that you could get into, but they don't want to.
So here's the law. I'm holding up my iPhone. If the government wants to get in here, they have to show probable cause of crime, meaning something in here is evidence of a crime. And then they can get a search warrant from a judge. That's what the Constitution says. That's the way the law works. That's not what the DOJ wants. The DOJ wants blanket backdoor access to everybody's iPhone in the United States. That is a profound violation of the Fourth Amendment, the essence of which is the right to be left alone. I'm not making this up. This is what the Supreme Court has said. So this is going to come to a clash before Senator Lindsey Graham and the Senate Judiciary Committee. Senator Graham is very strongly on the side of law enforcement. There'll be civil liberties groups there, and there'll be, I don't know who, but somebody from Facebook will be testifying. How will this play out? The government is not going to get access on its own. It may enact a statute, and then someone harmed by the statute will challenge it. But the government is just not going to get access on its own because the Constitution prohibits it.
Well, in the case of the San Bernardino terrorist and the fight between the Justice Department, the FBI, and Apple, it wasn't the passcode. They wanted Apple to write software, to essentially rewrite the software to give the FBI access to that phone because it didn't have the passcode, well, number one. Number two, in most of these cases with information on the iPhone, that data will be on the cloud, and so a regular court order, a search warrant, would allow the government to get access to that information. It's information that lives on that phone. Correct. That law enforcement, whether it's local or federal, will never, ever have access to it. There's no way to get into that phone, not even for Apple to get in that phone, they say.
So the purpose of the Fourth Amendment is to prohibit a general warrant. A general warrant is one that lets the bearer gather whatever he can find and seize whatever he wishes. The Fourth Amendment requires particularity. All of what the DOJ wants, and Attorney General Barr went through this with Jerry Baker yesterday in that long, wonderful interview they had, most of which was about the Horowitz report, but he touched on this as well. Attorney General Barr, in my view, he's making the typical law enforcement argument you'd expect an AG to make, but it is profoundly overreaching and utterly inconsistent with the Supreme Court opinions on the Fourth Amendment as we understand them today.
But he said that the probe of big tech ending in an interview with the Wall Street Journal. Here, let's just take that soundbite so that we hear what he said. Watch this.
Are you expecting any kind of imminent resolution? Can we expect it sometime next year?
You know, I'd like to have it completed sometime next year. I think it's important to move quickly on things. That's something I can talk about later. But, you know, these things have a cost to the marketplace and to the businesses, and I think at some point the government has to fish or cut bait.
So here's what the government is doing. The government is conducting this enormous antitrust interview of big tech, and with the sword of Damocles hanging over their head, because if they do charge antitrust violations, you're talking about 10 years of litigation. They demand access to everybody's iPhone. Is that going to be the resolution of the antitrust investigation? That is profoundly unfair for the government to do that, but that's what they're going to try and get away with. When the Facebook people wrote the letter and said no, we learned that there's still some backbone in the country.
If you're an investigator, there's no way you can get to that phone?
There is. But the government doesn't want to admit it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I was saying.
That has every keystroke
That's
and
exactly
every word,
right.
and it's called the NSA.
So
And even Jim Comey.
So if you really need it, the NSA will get it. Then
But
don't mess with my privacy then.
Right, but the NSA, if they gave it to the FBI, would have to admit that they have it, and they'll never do that.
But the issue is also for state and local law enforcement, where if they're investigating, I don't know, somebody who committed child abuse or has child pornography on a device, they can't get access to it, period, if it's living on this device. They cannot get into it. And I know that the Manhattan District Attorney, Cy Vance, has talked about this very thing.
He's been on this show saying that. Yeah, you're right. Judge, good to have your insights.
Pleasure,
Thank you
guys.
so much. Judge Andrew Napolitano there.